All right, welcome into the Merrifield Sportsbook Show. It is week 8 of the college football season. We have officially hit the halfway mark. For some teams, we've blown past that halfway mark. The original crew is back. It is Justin Walsh, it is Jade Coster, it is Matt Merrifield. Sadly, no Mike Merrifield this week. He was a great guest last week. He gave us some absolutely stunning content. But Jay Walsh had to grace us with his return. Welcome back, Jay Walsh. How are you doing today?
I'm glad to be back. You know, it was a tough time missing out last week, but you know, we're here. We missed a bit of a rough weekend for City of Detroit and state of Michigan sports as a whole last week. But you know, we're moving past that. It's a new week, so we're ready to get into it.
Jada Coster, how are you feeling today? I believe this is our first episode since Sister Jean has gone on to new adventures in the sky. Is the city of Chicago still in mourning?
Yeah, I mean, you and I were texting about this. It's disappointing that DePaul basketball against Loyola was not shown on TV. I mean, how can you commemorate Sister Jean with that? And it's so disappointing.
Due to unforeseen circumstances. And the game's 3 days away or something like that. What are we doing? Also, Loyola Chicago announced their memorial patch for Sister Jean. It looks like a Cracker Barrel logo. So yes. Sure, why not? Matt Merrifield, we'll go to you next. How are you doing as we return this week?
I am absolutely impeccable. I am enjoying listening to the talk radio people and the fan base in this city of. I don't know what's happening. Let me continue. I don't even know. Anyways, can this cooperate so that way I can make my point, please? I
think you're on at least for now.
You really you have to say what you just. You have to say what you just said. We did not hear your entire thing.
Okay.
We heard "city of," and that was it.
The city of Detroit is acting like the sky is falling now that baseball season is over, and so now I need to make way to discuss with Mr. Justin Walsh what to do with a certain left-handed pitcher. Before I even entertain this conversation, Mr. Walsh, are you in the trade him because you're not going to pay because you don't think that you can afford him camp, or you don't think he's coming back camp, or are you in the bring him back because he's the best left-handed pitcher for the next 10 years of baseball? Let's just get a baseline first of where you're at.
In terms of what I am hoping the Tigers do, I want them to retain him at all costs because he, as you said, he is the best pitcher in baseball and he will continue to be for quite some time. And it's the most frustrating thing to hear people talk about they need to either trade him or they're going to just let him walk. The Tigers have enough money to afford him. They have the 6th richest owner in baseball. He just doesn't spend his money. So no, I am not hoping that they trade Tarek Skubal. However, I am a realist and I understand that Chris Ilitch is probably not going to give him a $300-400 million contract. If we understand that, I think you have to try to trade him rather than just let him walk for nothing. But it will show me that our owner is unserious if we end up doing it.
What would be your biggest want in return? Would you want to go get a new pitcher, or would you be more in favor of picking up a bat that can actually not strike out when it matters?
It would definitely be bats.
Okay,
I think if there's one thing that the Tigers have shown the ability to do over the last several years, it's find and develop talent at the pitching position. We have a number of guys who are looking very promising. Obviously, Troy Melton lit it on fire this year, and obviously he was one of the big stars of the postseason for Detroit. You still got Jackson Jobe, who's going to be obviously coming off Tommy John surgery, but he had a huge buzz around him coming out of the minors. You have still Casey Mize, who had a solid season this year. Looks like he could be a solid like number 3 starter in a good rotation. So I don't think the Tigers are lacking pitching. So I think their main focus has to be just finding bats that can reliably, as you said, not strike out every time they get up to the plate, which they clearly have not been able to do thus far.
Good answer, because I have heard way too many people tell me they need to go get a new pitcher to replace Tarek Skubal when you already have him on the damn roster. A. B, if he, first off, he's not replaceable. So if you could replace him, A, you couldn't afford him because you can't afford the actual Tarek Skubal. And B, why not just pay the damn guy that's been here the entire time that people love already and already own merchandise for, and he's won 2 Cy Youngs for you. Keep him around instead. But like, I'm just confused by that comment. But also, if you do trade him, you are, like you mentioned, you are an unserious franchise, and no serious title contender or player would want to sign with you with the intention of playing for a title contender, because clearly you have the best pitcher in baseball. Your World Series window is now, because guess what? You have the best pitcher in baseball, and you have young talent that's ready to roll now. Why would you delay that? First off, I think they should keep him on the roster. I think they should keep him on the roster regardless. I don't think the return they get makes them better next year or even puts them over the top in 2 years necessarily, because I don't know what type of prospect that they're going to get or pitcher they get in return. Because once again, for a year of Tarek Skubal, nobody's given up Gunnar Henderson. So that's all I really have to say. You are in a good mental state, Mr. Walsh. I'm glad to see you are not one of the idiot Tiger fans I've had to listen to over the last 48 hours. So God bless your soul. May your baseball team find the light of sanity.
No, I have always.
I don't trust them to, but
yeah, no, I have always been in the keep Tarek Skubal around as long as possible camp. I know that some people are saying, he's getting close to 30 years old at this point. He's had an injury history in the past. I don't care. Right now, he is the best pitcher in baseball, and it really isn't particularly close. You have a young lineup that apparently your front office believes in, whether the fan base believes in them after this season and postseason, that's up in the air, but the front office believes in them. You have one of the top farm systems in baseball, including 2 prospects that will likely be on the roster at some point next year, including the number 1 overall prospect in baseball. As you said, the Tigers' window is now. So if you are saying that you don't feel like you can reasonably pay Tarek Skubal to be on this team and support that roster, you're an unserious franchise. And as you said, no star player is ever going to want to come here, ever. So that's my piece. We can get into the college football slate.
Very last thing, if they were to actually spend the $45 million elsewhere, I could justify it, but we all know damn well they're not going to do that. So, anyways, let's make
because if you're going to, you do it on Tarek Skubal. But
also correct. But let's go make some wrong college football picks, shall we?
I say we get right into it. Let's take a look at probably one of the bigger matchups of Week 8, and that is Ole Miss traveling to Athens to take on Georgia. Georgia's a 7.5-point favorite. The over-under is 53.5. Jada Coster, we'll go to you first here. This is a massive game in the SEC. This could very well determine who one of the teams is going to Atlanta for the SEC championship in early December.
Yeah, absolutely. We got 2 with Alabama, of the best SEC teams battling it out. I'm really excited to see how Georgia responds. Obviously, the Auburn game was fine. They played really well defensively, but the last really big test was Bama, and they got basically just destroyed up front specifically. It's at Georgia. That's 7.5 is just a little scary for me. And Ole Miss, with Shameless and that offense, they could put up the points with Lincoln Riley, goodness grief, with with Lane Kiffin's offense. I like Ole Miss to keep it close here. That's just a little too many points and for a game like this. And Ole Miss has shown that they can put up points. So I'll take Ole Miss plus 7.5. I think Ole Miss is kind of ready for a spot like this. Lane Kiffin in big games, he's beat LSU earlier this year. He hasn't shown that he can win a lot of big games, but I think this is his opportunity to do it again, especially at Georgia. So I'll take Ole Miss plus 7.5 because Georgia just hasn't shown me that they can win a big game like this this year so far. So I'll take Ole Miss.
Matt, we'll go to you next here. Trinidad Trombless, however you pronounce it's Trinidad, the Ferris State transfer. He has come out looking very good for Ole Miss, obviously. Is he going to be the key factor in them either winning or losing this game?
I'm interested to see how he handles going from playing at Grand Valley State 12 months ago to now walking in between the hedges and taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, which obviously I know this is not the same Georgia team that we've seen in years past from Kirby Smart. But when it comes to picking this game, there's only one pick. Mike Merrifield says so. It's the Bulldogs minus whatever the number is. That's what the rule says. And the rule had a great week last week. I think it lost. The only time it lost was on Friday. RIP North Texas, and what it was an absolute disaster of a football game. But on Saturday, I believe it went 3-0 or 4-0, however many situations it did. It continues here. I don't love it. I am rooting for Ole Miss. I'm rooting for Trinidad. Go Ferris State. Go Trinidad and Tobago hockey from Mighty Ducks 2. Why they were in that movie, I don't know. But hey, why Trinidad Chambliss has found himself as the starter of this team, I also don't know. How do you go from the GLIAC to the SEC? I don't know. But he's here, and I'm rooting for him. But Georgia got away with voodoo magic last week. Just an absolute – if Lions fans want to bitch about poor officiating – I introduced you to the Georgia-Auburn game last week. That was a disaster class in terms of just. I think we can all tell that this is a very different signal. But hey, shout out Kirby Smart, baby. So give me the Bulldogs here at home. They get right, and they usually beat down on one team. And I don't trust Lane Kiffin to go on the road and win this and cover this one. Give me the Dogs minus whatever. I have it at 6.5, but it's at 7.5. I'll still take it.
I almost said Jada Coster. Justin Walsh, we'll go to you next here. Like Matt said last week, it kind of felt like Georgia just basically escaped with victory there. They need to show up much better this week if they want to walk away with victory.
For sure. This is obviously one of the kind of premier games of the season, to be honest. And like you said, this is a game that is heavily going to impact who is playing for an SEC championship. And if Georgia wants to be in that contention, they pretty much, I'm not going to say this is a must-win game for them, but it's getting pretty close. Obviously, the loss to Alabama hurt them. I think Georgia comes into this game ready to go. Again, this game is being played in Athens. Sanford Stadium, between the hedges, a tough place to play. Similar to Jay, I don't think Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss are quite built for this type of game. Obviously, Ole Miss is a very good team, but I don't know. As I have said a couple times before, if I have two teams that I think are relatively evenly matched, I tend to look at coaching, and Kirby Smart outpaces Lane Kiffin. I like Georgia here. The 7.5 number does scare me a little bit, just simply because I could see this being a kind of last minute touchdown victory kind of game. But I will go with Georgia minus the 7.5, partially because, as Matt said, it is a Mike Merrifield special here. So I'll trust the rule. In terms of the over-under, that one is interesting because, as Jay said, Ole Miss can definitely put up their points. Georgia's definitely capable as well. I think if Georgia's going to win this game and if they're going to cover this game, you know what? No, I can't even say. I think it has to be the under. I like the over here. 53.5 just seems a little bit low. Obviously, I'll probably be dead wrong talking about this, but I'll go with the over here as well.
I don't really have much to add from what has already been added. I'll just say it. Mike Merrifield rule always reigns supreme. I'm riding with it. Let's move on.
Sorry, one more quick thing about that game. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt. I have just taken a quick look over the last 3 weeks. Auburn has lost to Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and now Georgia. Oklahoma and Texas A&M were both one-score losses. They lost to Georgia by 10 last week. Oklahoma won their next game 44-0, and Texas A&M won their next game 31-9. Obviously, Oklahoma was playing Kent State, but Texas A&M did win the next game 31-9. So there could be a pattern here. Teams that beat, they played Florida, or no, they played Mississippi State, but still
even better.
I'm just saying there could be a pattern here.
I respect the narrative. I will add that the public is all over Ole Miss. So you're giving me fading the public in the game of the week with the Mike Merrifield rule. It might be lock territory. I haven't picked my lock yet, but I could get frisky and take the dogs to lay north of a touchdown at home. But we'll see. I won't tip my cap. I don't know if I can pull the trigger on that, but.
All right, we'll move on. Got some flack from certain members of the committee about this next game in the pre-show, asking why.
Skip.
Okay. Skip. Like I explained to the one person that hasn't said skip yet, this is more on here to take a pulse of what is the corpse.
There is no pulse.
Football right now.
We are dead.
It's bad. It's terrible. They're 20.5-point underdogs at Indiana. I don't know. Just, Matt, I know you're saying they're dead. Just give me something on this team. Like, is there anything?
No. There is nothing. Is Nick Marsh banged up? I know Aiden Childs is hurt, and he probably won't play, which is just awesome. I can't wait to watch
Marsh, I believe, is healthy. I think he should be able to play in this game.
Do. Great. We're about to play the Big Ten's version of John Wick, who's just going to come in and just absolutely destroy us and pick us apart and show no mercy. We might lose 70-0. Does anybody not remember what happened last year in the game? I thought State might win. Then State went up 10-0, and then lost 54-10. And they didn't score in the first quarter. They scored 54 points in the second, third, and fourth quarter. We are fucked.
At the very least, we have not made the same mistake that a lot of teams have made this year in giving them bulletin board material before this game. We have not.
Our coach listens to whale music on the sideline. This guy, I mean, I've never seen somebody so calm and so just mellow on a sideline. I swear he takes melatonin gummies before he goes and coaches a football game.
Well, that would make sense because he also that would make sense because he also doesn't seem to see the fact that our offensive line is god awful. He said multiple times he doesn't see anything wrong with it.
From my perspective, I couldn't see anything wrong with what happened in Lincoln. What football game were you watching? What were you watching, Jonathan? First off, you're a 45-year-old man that goes by Jonathan. That should have been red flag numero uno.
At least he didn't go by John C. Smith.
I mean, that would still be better. But just, has he ever talked to an official? Can we go back through? He's coached what now? 18 games. Can we go back through and see if he's ever said a word to an official, another player, or another coach in the confines of a football game? He just walks up and down the sideline. He's mute. He doesn't speak to anybody. Like, we make fun of Mel Tucker, but that guy used to get fired up on the sideline. Yeah, hey, at least, to be fair, at least Jonathan Smith's not out here chopping his hand down 20 to Rutgers on the road. Like, but man, like, guys, this is bad. This is apathy at its finest. I'm give me Indiana minus whatever, and I can't wait to hire Jake Dickert.
Can we transform this
Butch Jones
here into
Butch Jones
talking about our potential coaching hires? Because I'm about to say something that I have a feeling is going to be very controversial with this group, but I think it is absolutely a way we need to go, and it has been talked about a lot on Twitter. I am all in on James Franklin.
Yes.
I am all in on James Franklin.
He's not going to pick up the phone, guys. Let's be honest here.
That's what I mean. He's not coming here.
He is required to look for another job per his Penn State contract. That he is required to look for another job. If we come knocking, he is required to hear us out.
Yeah, and then guess what? Florida. He's going to be a Gator. He's going to be a Gator. He could be the future coach of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish because Marcus Freeman's not leaving. But I can't. Guys, we're not getting anybody good. I refuse to believe that we're getting an A-plus coach. I think we have a better chance of going and get Urban Meyer again.
Raise the flag.
Stop.
Please don't. About that, I might have told you guys, but I had a buddy that met him like down in Florida, and he said, "Yeah, I got offered the MSU job, but I don't want to go back to the NIL landscape. I'm had enough. I'm done with coaching." So that's probably still his mindset. But
Michigan State should go out and hire DeWitt's football coach. That guy wins. I just got done talking to him for like a half hour.
He's still a winner.
He is a winner.
Because he's still more fire than Johnson
in the regular season. They've won like 20 conference titles in 24 years, in 24 years or some shit. That's an elite program. That's a program.
I mean,
that's going back to Oregon State.
They're going to beat the crap out of Okemos on Friday. And then I get ready to sit down on Saturday afternoon and watch. I think DeWitt might be able to beat Michigan State based currently on how things are looking. This is bad. Like, this is an absolute disaster, guys.
Okay.
Who are we realistically going to hire? And first off, I would like to say, as somebody who's a fan of the Jonathan Smith hire, I do want to not apologize to him because he sucked at his job, but like, to the people say I told you so, it was a good hire at the time. It was a good hire. It just didn't work out. It does happen. So I don't want to like completely flip our shit over this, but like, we are so fucked. I'm just going to say that. That's the last thing I got to say about Michigan State football. Never again.
I mean, you talk about doing a jump from the GLIAC to the SEC. What about jump from the GLIAC to the Big Ten?
I don't hate it. Go give me a winner. I want a stone cold winner. I want my coach to say Google me, but not be prime. I don't want Deion Sanders, though. I don't need that. I need substance to back it up. Can our football coach walk around with a belt? Like, can we have a turnover belt, but not like the championship belt? I want one of those. Like, I'm surprised nobody's come up with that. Be like I'm on Ross St. Brown into the camera. I want some energy.
I run this shit.
Honestly, if the lawsuit falls through, Mel Tucker.
What's he doing?
My God.
Is he still at a Planet Fitness?
Crunch Fitness.
J Bet sending a midnight text to Mel Tucker. What's up, big head?
Force him to hire a new staff. No Jay Johnson. No Scotty H.
For the love of God, no Ross Ells.
Well, no shit. Actually, I'm convinced we've had back-to-back terrible special teams coaches. How is that possible? How do you fuck that up twice in a row?
Special teams. You know what pissed me off from that game was like on the punt returns. Just nobody tackling. Nobody tackling. It's like
plays.
Fundamental
There's
execution.
nobody that tackles on defense. How do you think they're going to do it on special teams?
I miss Mel Tucker football when Jalen Naylor and Connor Hayward would not leave the field after third down. They'd stay out there as gunners and start wrecking people.
I miss Mel Tucker football. That is a statement that we just
unironically,
realistically said on our show.
You know what?
Oh,
you know who
dear
caught a
God.
touchdown pass last week? Connor Hayward. Jalen Naylor's a starter. Mel Tucker put those people in the league, guys.
Derek Harmon is a first-round pick.
Yeah.
Fuck Derek Harmon.
Wow.
Neon Keon.
Keon Coleman
I mean,
didn't want to leave, but he did.
that team was not great, but like MSU put some NFL players in the league.
What the hell happened in the winter, in the offseason of 2022? From 21 to 22, what the hell happened? Because even into June, like we got Jordan Hall to commit by Joe. We had all these 4-star defensive players committing. We were entertaining David Stone, even though that was a fucking mistake, and we all knew that we weren't getting that guy. But hey, things were great. And then the Washington game happened.
Yeah.
Hell, Jalen Berger was the leading rusher on that team, and he just ran it right down our throats this last weekend.
Mel started investing heavily in Jurgen stock at that time.
Well, I would like it known I didn't see a single minute of the game against UCLA, and I am a much happier person because of it. I consumed 0 seconds of that game. I heard the PA announcer announce touchdown MSU as I walked by the stadium on the opening drive, and then I listened to the first half of the radio on Impact 89 FM, or the first drive of the second half. I did not watch a single second. I have not seen a single highlight. I have no interest in watching a single highlight.
There were none.
I will not be watching this weekend, and I will be too busy covering OHL hockey in 2 weeks when they play Michigan. I have zero interest.
Matt, I envy the fact that you didn't experience a single minute of that because I was at work at the time. And everyone at my work has come to the realization that I am our resident Michigan State sports junkie. And so we had it on the TV at work. And every 5 minutes, one of my coworkers would come up to me and be like, "Hey, man, you see what's going on the TV?" And I'd be like, "No, I don't want to." And they'd like start relaying to me how every single second it was getting so much worse. And yeah, it was not a good time. Not recommended.
Serious question. Would we rather our coach be mute like he is, or would you rather him show up wearing a blue collar to his weekly press conference?
Hey, I said Sharon Moore for Jonathan Smith trade straight up. Who says no?
Both get left in Ypsilanti.
Yeah, please. Like, no.
We'll drop them off halfway. They go both coach at Saginaw Valley.
Tell you what, that's $65. That's probably the worst $65 I've ever spent in my life. I spent $65 on a ticket. That was the worst $65 I've ever spent in my life on a ticket.
Oh my God, you were there, Jay?
You spent $65 to watch that. Plus another, you probably bought at least 3 beers. You spent over $100 to watch Michigan State play football.
I did not buy any beers, but yeah.
Not only watch Michigan State play football, you paid $65 to watch Michigan State get their ass blown out by a 1-win team at home on homecoming.
I mean, the only great thing I got out of that is I went to the Merrifield tailgate. Saw some great friends in that, and then it all went to shit because that's what.
Did you get a melting moment at the stadium?
No, I did not get a melting moment.
To a guy who looks like the kid from Rudolph, the Rudolph Christmas special.
Which, by the way,
also he's not the coordinator.
Speaking of, why is everyone acting like he's like football god? He's not even the head coach.
Great question.
It's valid. It's a very valid question.
Let's transition. We're all taking Indiana this weekend, right? I have a transition.
Yes.
Order picks. Shout out in terms of gambling, the Mike Merrifield special parlay. Not the Mike Merrifield rule. This is the Mike Merrifield special 330 parlay that Jay DeCoster, Luke Sloan, Mike Merrifield, I think Aiden Champion contributed to. There might have been a 5th person that made a pick on this parlay. Let me go find the best that was made.
Oh God.
Jay, do you know what the record was off the top of your head of that parlay?
Well, no, I don't think it was good. I don't really remember the whole thing. I know, obviously, I know it was bad. I don't remember the record.
You went 0-5. NC State plus 23.5. No, Iowa State minus 2.5. TCU minus 1.5. Nebraska minus 6.5. UNLV minus 6.5.
Nice.
Mike Merrifield's talking about how he wants everybody's Venmo so he can split the winnings with everybody. Note to the listeners out there: do not consume pudding shots and then put together 5 parlays in the 3:30 window.
Do not consume adult beverages while gambling, please.
Just pudding shot.
1-800-GAMBLER.
1-800-GAMBLER.
If you have a problem,
don't tailgate and gamble.
That's the worst thing.
What's next? Are we doing dumpster dive?
All right. By the way, sorry. Before we get into dumpster dive, did we completely delete the where we were right and where we were wrong segment last week? Did we decide to get rid of that?
We dumped it last week. I forgot to add it this week. I mean,
gotcha.
Yeah.
We didn't do dumpster dive last week, Jay Walsh, so we bring it back for this week. Because this week kind of sucks.
Wait, does that mean I didn't get credit for my now 2-0 start to the dumpster dive?
Well, I mean, you can have credit for it, but none of us else made dumpster dive picks last week. So we did go 5-0 2 weeks ago, though.
We did.
If there's anybody that knows garbage football, it's the gambling committee.
Correct.
That is 100% correct. That's why we're diving back into the dumpster. Let's get this started. I am leading off with the only game I can. There's only one game on this board that I just saw. I don't care if Matt says it's not legal for the dumpster dive. Give me UConn plus 1.5 at Boston College. Boston College is awful. They are an awful football team. How they are a favorite in this game, I don't know. Give me UConn plus 1.5. You can give me the money line. I don't care. Roll skis. Basketball team, by the way, looks very good, both men's and women's. They may do the double this year. Jay Walsh, let's dumpster dive.
All right, we are getting into it, and I'm starting to develop a bit of a pattern here, not just in the dumpster dive picks, but just overall of fading UMass, because as I have been quoted on saying earlier in this, not this show, but in previous weeks, UMass might be the worst football team in all of America. They are currently playing Buffalo this week. They are at home. Buffalo is favored by 16.5 on the road at UMass. I don't care. Give me Buffalo. UMass is god-awful.
Thanks for stealing my pick. So I had to make a little bit of an audible here. So Texas State's at Marshall. Texas State is a 3-point favorite. I'll take Texas State, who is, I think we talked about this like last couple weeks ago. They are a very good Group of 5 team, or win the Sun Belt. So I'll take Texas State -3 at Marshall, who is underachieving this year, and they also lost their coach. So I'll take Texas State.
I strongly considered putting this game into my parlay, but it's a dumpster dive, and it's where it belongs, even though it's going to be a quality dumpster dive. This is like a recycling bin dive, to be truthfully honest. Out in the Fun Belt, give me JMU -1.5 against Old Dominion. The line has dropped like 1.5 already this week, and the public loves Old Dominion, which makes me believe that something's wrong with JMU. And I don't have the time or patience to try and sift through the injury reports of college football, because there's nothing I enjoy less than trying to figure out who's healthy and who's not in college football. Like, it actually sucks. They need to fix it somehow. Like, as much as I don't love the way the NFL handles injury reports from the player's point of view, as a consumer of college football and the number of players there are, it's impossible to figure out who's hurt, who's not. I turn on games, I bet on games, and then all of a sudden it's like, their top 3 quarterbacks and the team advisor are out for this season. When did they get hurt? I don't know. Michigan State's the biggest culprit of that, but I at least follow that team intently, so I can figure it out at least a little bit. Give me JMU -1.5. Also a super special. I need to figure out, we need to take a poll. I know in hockey, Nick, the new coach bump is a real thing. Does that
It is in
carry over
soccer
to,
too.
does it carry over to college football? Because I have a pick, but if it carries over, then it might not be a good pick.
I mean, look at UCLA. I know they lost their first game, but they may be the greatest team of all time.
I don't think this team's the greatest team of all time. Give me Lafayette catching 22.5 late night on the CW at Oregon State. I thought the week for Oregon State was last week. I honestly thought they were going to cover against Wake Forest, and they lost by 25. Oregon State's terrible. They are awful. Trent Bray out. Jonathan Smith going to be back in Corvallis. But for right now, give me the Lafayette. What are they, the Leopards?
No, those are the Raging Cajuns.
No, not
They're
Louisiana
playing like
Lafayette.
actual Lafayette.
Lafayette.
Yes, Lafayette.
Why the hell are they going to?
Incredible question. They're not bad. They're 5-2.
Yes, they are the Leopards, Matt.
That's what I thought. I was like, I know it's a cat of some sort, and I thought it was alliteration. Glad I was.
I truly just thought we were talking about Louisiana, and I am. Wow.
They also have a great rivalry with Lehigh. I'm pretty sure Joe Madden went to Lafayette, or he went to Lehigh. Went to one of the two.
It's the oldest rivalry in college football, I believe.
Bang. Well, Oregon State's gonna get their belt. They're gonna get belted by the Leopards. Lafayette's good. They've lost to Princeton and Bowling Green this year. They beat Georgetown. Nick, keep that in mind. So
That doesn't mean much in football.
Noted football powerhouse, Georgetown.
well, I'm saying the East Coast West Coast rule clearly just doesn't apply anymore. If Wake Forest can go win by 23 at Oregon State, Lafayette can lose by less than 22.5. Love that number.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you want to take a guess on where John Madden went to college?
Joe Madden, not John Madden.
Oh, okay, then never mind. I thought we were talking about the football, John Madden.
No, Joe Madden, Rays legend, Cubs legend.
Yes.
Okay, before we get into the real picks, Jay Walsh, did you know that your dumpster dive pick of the week is actually a rivalry game now?
I love it
A
even more.
rivalry game?
UMass has got awful.
It is.
Also, go ahead, Nick. Continue.
It is the Milton Cat Flagship Cup presented by Learfield.
Oh my God, that's electric. Please tell me there's an actual trophy.
There is
I need it.
supposedly a traveling trophy.
Oh my
We
God.
don't know what it
Thank
looks like
God.
yet.
Oh, I love the fact that Buffalo UMass is a trophy game. I absolutely love it.
Joe Madden is a dual sport athlete, or was a dual sport athlete at Lafayette, football and baseball. Could not love it anymore. Give me Lafayette. Give me the Leopards. I love it. Absolutely love it. Shout out to the Patriot League. Let's make our actual picks. This episode's a disaster.
Hey, that's what half of these episodes are at this point. So this is what's enjoyable about all of this. Let's get into the picks. I mean, I don't even know who should go first here. Jay Walsh, I'm just putting you up first because you weren't here last week, so it's time for you to make your picks.
For sure. Well, I wasn't here last week, but I heard Mr. Mike Merrifield announce my picks, and I heard that he wasn't overall disgusted. I did have a good week last week. I went 4-1, so I can't have caught too much flack for that. Hoping for another good week here. We are going to start off on Friday night. We are going with Cal minus 9.5 at home against North Carolina. You've got North Carolina traveling across the country to play Cal at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Cal, I don't think is that good. North Carolina, I don't think is very good. Obviously, traveling across the country, playing that game that late, I'm rolling with the Bears here. Moving on to Saturday, we have Baylor TCU. This is a noon kickoff game. I've got this over 65.5. I believe the spread on this game was 2.5, and I said to Nick Burt before the show that I really did not like that line whatsoever. And then I looked at these two teams. Both of them have very capable offenses and defenses that are not very good. So I think they get over 65.5 here. I like that over. Next pick. This realistically, if we opened up the dumpster dive to Power 5 teams, this could be a strong contender. I'm going with Northwestern minus 3.5 against Purdue. Northwestern honestly has kind of been rolling lately. They've rattled off some decent wins. Obviously beat Penn State, which at this point isn't looking like a super impressive win, but still a good win. They've had some key playmakers step up. I think Northwestern is a solid team. I don't think Purdue is very good. I like Northwestern minus 3.5 here at home. I am going with Texas A&M minus 7.5 on the road against Arkansas. I have picked against Arkansas a couple times this year, and I believe I've been correct every time. This Arkansas team is not very good. They played a close game against Tennessee. I believe it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. And I think they kind of spent their load in that one. I think Texas A&M wins this game easily. Rolling with the Aggies there. And then my final pick, Matt's probably going to call me some variation of a dirty hooker again for taking this, but I'm taking the easy pick. Give me Indiana, 27.5. Michigan State's not going to keep this game close. I'm sorry. Yeah, that game is going to be an absolute disaster for Michigan State.
That is not $3 hooker worthy.
I have a great idea though for Jay Walsh's new patented dirty hook of the week.
Let's hear it. Yeah, I love it. I love it.
That's it. You call it your dirty
I love
hook.
it. I love it.
Great.
All right. So that could be a new thing moving forward. I feel so strongly about that. I'm going to go ahead and make that my lock of the week. So we're making not only is that the dirty hook of the week, but we're going lock of the week on Indiana minus 27.5. So those are my picks. Again, that's Cal minus 9.5, Baylor TCU over 65.5, Northwestern minus 3.5, Texas A&M minus 7.5, and Indiana minus 27.5.
Some absolutely outstanding picks there. Jake Hoster, we'll go to you next here. Let's hear those picks.
Also going starting off Friday night, Jay Walsh, you took another one of my picks. Cal minus 10. North Carolina is an absolute disaster. What they talked about with Bill Belichick last week doesn't look great. So I'll take Cal minus the 10 out in Cal. Next, I got Duke minus 1.5. It's the Mike Merrifield special here against Georgia Tech. Why is Duke favored by 1.5? I don't know. So I will take Duke here. Next, Ohio State is traveling to Camp Randall. Wisconsin is so bad. I can't do it anymore with them. So I'm going to take Ohio State minus 24.5. I think this might be the game Luke Fickell gets the axe. So Ohio State's showing they can just blow out a bunch of Big Ten teams. So I like Ohio State in this spot here, minus 24.5. This one is going to be my lock of the next one's my lock of the week. South Carolina at home. Concaboose plus 5.5 against Oklahoma. Oklahoma is also in a look ahead spot here next week. They host Ole Miss at home in Norman. So I like South Carolina here plus the 5.5. I actually think they can win the game, to be honest with you. I know they've kind of struggled this year, but they still have the talent. They just underachieved this year. Lenora Sellers is still, I think, has got a lot of hype around them. I think they can find a way to pull this off. So give me South Carolina plus 5.5. Go Cox. Last one, I like Boise State minus 12.5 at home against UNLV. UNLV is undefeated, but they are also have not played literally anybody. They have not played anybody worth a pulse. So I'll take Boise State minus the 12.5 there out in Boise. So those are my 5 picks. And yeah.
Matt, it's up to you now. Let's hear those picks this week. How many Mike Merrifield plays do we have this week?
As many as there are. I took all of them. I think there's 5. If there's 5, I took all 5. It's been rough sledding the last couple weeks after the first 3 weeks, and if you include week 0 included, where I went 4-2, 4-2, 4-2, 2-1. Since then, it's been bad. Let's see, 2, 4. It's been not good. It's been a 1-5 week, a 1-5 week, a 5-2 week, and then a 2-4 last week. It's been bad. I'm back to 500 on the year, so not good. We're gonna get right though, and by keep getting right, we're keeping it simple. We're taking the 5 Mike Merrifield rules. Duke -1.5, Vandy -1.5, Georgia -6.5. Auburn's now +1.5, so I'm going to take it at +1.5, even though in some spots they're favored by 1.5. But give me Auburn in this spot. And then finally, give me Utah -3. And then my last pick that is not a Merrifield pick. I'll make one pick this week. I'm going to try and pick one out. And unfortunately, Baylor is so cooked. Give me TCU -3 or -2. TCU -2.5 at home against the Baylor Bears. I fell into the bear trap of TCU last week. I don't think this is a bear trap this week. They're at home. It's a rivalry game. TCU's the better football team. Baylor can't stop anything. Give me TCU. As long as it stays south of a field goal, I expect it to be a close game, but I think TCU can cover this. Lock of the week. Give me Utah. I mean, they're a good football team. That was not a bad loss to Texas Tech whatsoever. Sure, their offense didn't show up, but I expect if those two teams play again, it would still be a very competitive, very close football game as long as they don't play at 9 a.m. local time. And, I mean, I'm not a BYU fan. They're ranked way too high for where they're at this season. But yeah, that's pretty much my pick. Keeping it simple this week. The future Spartan head coach, I've decided, is playing in the Duke-Georgia Tech game. And no, it's not Brett Key. Manny Diaz.
Yeah, Manny Diaz.
Manny Diaz. Former Penn State coach.
He's going to Penn State.
No.
That's the Penn State.
Who sounds more delusional, Penn State fans or Michigan State fans when they bring up Nick Saban coming to their program?
I've also seen them say that they're going to poach Marcus Freeman away from Notre Dame, which that feels like a lateral move at best to me. But
it's a downgrade.
Yeah.
Because Notre Dame would never fire. We saw with Brian Kelly. Notre Dame ain't firing Marcus Freeman ever. And he doesn't deserve to be fired in the first place. But
speaking of Brian Kelly to State College.
If you spend $50 million to go out and hire Brian Kelly, you deserve the electric chair. I'm not putting that nicely.
All right. Well, let's get into the picks, at least my picks. Everybody else has done their picks. Cal -9.5 versus North Carolina on Friday night. Most of us have it, so that means North Carolina is going to somehow win this game for some godforsaken reason. But give me Cal -9.5. SMU +10.5 at Clemson. Clemson's not good. SMU can keep it within the number. My lock of the week, that only became my lock of the week about 20 minutes ago because I saw the uniforms for this game. Stormtrooper for the Oregon Ducks. Give me the Ducks -15.5 at Rutgers. I get it. They're going cross country. It doesn't matter. Give me the Ducks because they will bounce back this week. Falling into a trap here, give me USC -9.5 at Notre Dame. It doesn't make sense to me, this line. Figured it would be a lot smaller. It's not. So give me Notre Dame or USC here against Notre Dame. And to close it out, give me Stanford +17.5 at home against Florida State. Florida State is falling off the map right now. A road trip to the West Coast probably isn't going to help them. I get Stanford already got their one random conference win of the year out of the way already, and that was against Boston College. Maybe they get 2 ACC wins this year. Just maybe. Give me Stanford +17.5 here against Florida State. So, as I said, my lock is Oregon. So, that's 5 of the plays of all time here. They are truly something. So, before we get out of here, there is a very important series this weekend. And I know Matt knows what I'm talking about. It possibly is one of the biggest series in the past few years for college hockey. And it is Michigan State traveling to Boston to take on Boston University, the number 1 team in the nation, going up against the number 3/4 team in the nation. It depends on what poll you look at. Justin Walsh, I know you always say you're going to pick Boston University because of the Terriers and you work with somebody that has affiliations with them. Will you be bringing this game up to them this weekend after Michigan State sweeps the Terriers?
Absolutely, I will be. Mostly because I will. I trust this. I trust his expertise on hockey, and I'll be actually genuinely asking him, like, "Hey, what do you think about this Michigan State team and how they played BU?" But yes, if Michigan State just bodies BU, absolutely, I will be talking shit on behalf of the Spartans. Not a lot else to say. Go green.
Jada Coster, do you have anything to add here? This is absolutely massive for college hockey and for both teams.
Well, considering, oh man, who did MSU lose to in the opener?
That was New Hampshire.
How bad is New Hampshire? Like very bad.
They're fine. It's not the end of the world.
It's
not losing to Clarkson.
Yeah,
unless I'm mistaken, 3 of the top 4 teams lost that same weekend, didn't they?
Just on the opening night, it happens.
They'll be ready for a series like this. It was just kind of a look. Not a look ahead. This isn't college football, but they were just kind of overlooking. So yeah, I think they'll split. Is this going to be on? Is this going to be on ESPN or BTN? So I can watch.
This is on the Duke.
I will tune in then. I will surely tune in.
It is the first college hockey regular season game on ESPN2 for at least 10 years or something like that. So a massive weekend just for kind of the brand of college hockey. Matt, I know you can add a little bit more here. It's just, this feels like it is one of the biggest non-conference college hockey series in at least the past few years.
I guess from a coverage standpoint, it is, and I'm not 100% familiar with the full lineup of BU in terms of talent load-wise. Like when Gavin McKenna comes to East Lansing in 3 weeks, that's going to be a big deal. Like Gavin McKenna and the other additions that Penn State made against Michigan State, who was also a pretty heavy hitter in terms of picking up CHL players. But honestly, I'd argue talent-wise, when Michigan State hosted BC last year, there was more talent on the ice, just in my opinion. It's still exciting to see. The only unfortunate part is that who's calling the game for ESPN kind of disappoints me. But I am disappointed by ESPN hockey coverage in general. So, and I won't be watching. So,
is it Butchergross?
Pretty sure. I'm like 98% sure he's calling the game.
It's him and Kobe Cohen.
Wonderful.
The ESPN hockey coverage is it's not. McDonough's fine. I know, Matt, you don't really like McDonough you like McDonough for football.
He's good.
And I like NHL and TNT is way better. That's just me.
People should be tuned in to DeWitt Okemos on the DeWitt Panthers Network on Friday night anyways at 7 p.m.
Yes.
Don't. That will be a slaughter. Anyways, get back. But, still, for this weekend for Michigan State, I expect a split. I know Michigan State, when they went to BC 2 years ago, was an eye-opening experience, and they got swept that weekend. And then from then on, the rest of the year, they took care of business all the way up until they lost the game before the Frozen Four. And last year, they were able to find a split with BC, excuse me. So I think they'll split this weekend. I think it'll be competitive. It'll be a fun series. I enjoy when college hockey teams go out and play in series like this at home rinks, not playing out in the middle of the desert where nobody can watch them. It's not on TV and nobody cares. And then you have Alaska playing Arizona State or whoever the hell they played for some fake title. Stupid. This is what people want. Same thing with college basketball. We want Arkansas, Michigan State at the Breslin Center, Michigan State, Duke at the Breslin Center, Cameron Indoor. That's what the people want. Give it to us. That's what we want in all sports. Neutral site games are stupid in every sport, unless it's the postseason. So it's fun. I'm excited for it, and we'll see if Michigan State's where they're at this point in the year.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting weekend. I think it's probably going to end up being a split that just kind of the vibes that this is giving off. Of course, come 11 p.m., I'll be tuned into Flow Hockey for Michigan Tech to travel up to Fairbanks to go up against Alaska. Not really, because I refuse to pay for Flow Hockey because that's just a scam. So that we're just going to wrap it up here. What has happened in this episode? It has been all over the place. So thank you so much for watching. If you just stumble across the Merrifield Sportsbook Show, make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. We'll be back next week, of course, for what is it going to be, week 9 of the college football season. Wow, time is flying. Jay Walsh, I don't know if you wanted to say something else there or you were just raising your hand because your photo got grainy. So,
yeah, no, I did just want to say, just a quick heads up. Next week will be the first edition of the 2025 Jay Walsh College Football Rankings. So next week, the first rankings will drop.
Yes.
I know that's incredibly important to everybody, of course.
It very much is. That is the true trendsetter of the whole ranking system. Once the Jay Walsh ranking drops, you can forget about the AP poll. You can forget about the playoff poll. You can forget about it all because the one and only poll starts next week. So that's going to leave you waiting for something next week. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again soon for another episode of the Merrifield Sportsbook Show.